Natalie Brunell is the host of the Coin Stories podcast. She joins us tonight to answer those questions. Natalie, thanks so much for coming on. So people are watching this. Some people feel vindicated. Others feel really worried. What do you make of it?
Hi, Tucker. Well, thank you so much for having me. Look, we're seeing a sell-off across the board. It feels like no one is safe right now, and I know that can be really scary for people, but at the same time, we shouldn't really be surprised because there's been so much excess added to the system. You mentioned it earlier in the newscast. I mean, the federal government has been printing trillions of dollars in the last few years. They were printing before, but it was accelerated as the result of the pandemic, and that money had to flow somewhere. It went into stocks, it went into crypto and Bitcoin, and it caused inflation. Now the government is trying to take inflation seriously. They have to try to reduce the balance sheet. They have to try to raise interest rates to make it more expensive to borrow in record debt levels. And so people are selling assets. They're selling stocks, some of those stocks going down further than Bitcoin. People are selling Bitcoin and crypto. And I want to make an important distinction here because Bitcoin is not crypto. Bitcoin is digital property, whereas Bitcoin is largely an unregulated securities market. And it's similar in some ways to the dot-com bubble of the 90s, where you saw things shoot up in value and then crash down, never to be heard from again. And I urge people caution because we saw some of those stories in the last week, whereas Bitcoin is a very young but quickly growing technology network that has the power to disrupt and revolutionize our financial system. And it was really designed to decouple money from power, which has caused so many of the problems that exist in society. It is growing very, very quickly. And I think we might see some more short-term pain, but in the long run, I think it's going to be a winner.
So it does, and I think that's a really nice explanation, the way you describe Bitcoin. But the idea was that it would be decoupled from fluctuations in the equities market, but it seems correlated with the equities market. Do you expect that to change over time?
I do expect that to change. And look, right now, Bitcoin has largely existed in a QE environment where the government is printing money. Right. It has been the beneficiary of that, so it does come down. But you know what? In previous drawdowns, it's come down even further, the 80–90% range. We are not there yet. Could we see it? Absolutely. Again, this is a very young, very volatile, early technology network that's growing very quickly. A lot of people don't understand it yet, but again, very different from the larger crypto market. Bitcoin is a digital property that has the potential to be in the hands of 8 billion people across the world and give them access to a more inclusive financial system. And I think it's important to remember that because, as you mentioned in the show, with all this money printing, we've created a system of debt that has crushed savers, and it's benefited the people at the top. It's socialized losses and privatized gains. And now we have a country that's polarized and frustrated because people feel left behind.
Yes, so nicely put. I'm glad you came on tonight. Thank you very much. Good to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Natalie Brunell, thank you.